Well, hello everybody. It's been a few days and I'm back. Welcome to my channel and welcome to my new subscribers. I seem to have gone up in quite a bit in the last week or so, which is a pleasant surprise. I apologize. I'm a little I don't know, I'm a little weird tonight. Like I should have had a hat on. I don't know. I look a little bummy tonight because, well, it's late. It's like 8 o'clock in the 8:30 actually. So tonight's video is a little different in some regard. So tonight I'm talking about two of my favorite things, pipes, and this pipe is appropriate. This is the Dr. Lester pipe, as I call it, but it's a Savinelli 320. What is it called? Shoot, I can't remember the official name right now, but I affectionately call it Dr. Lester after Redcoat's Returns channel fame. And it's fitting because tonight we're going to talk about not really pipes, but I'm going to mention, because a while back Logan from There and Tobac Again did a great video. I loved it, and it's something I've been thinking about too for a while since he did the video. Is he did a video where he was pairing pipe tobacco with certain books. It was a great video, and I really liked it. And I think I even mentioned it on this channel a while back. I'll probably leave a link down below if he doesn't mind, so you can check that out. And I'll leave another link to this book right here, because the other thing we're talking about is books. And I'll get into this in a second. So last night because I finished a few audiobooks, so I was looking through for audiobooks to get, because I'm since the pandemic happened, I've always been a reader. Except for in school. When I was in school, grade school and high school, I didn't like reading. I didn't enjoy it that much. I just did it to do it, to get through the day or school or whatever. But after college, after the 2-year school I went to, clown college as I like to call it, I started learning things on my own and started getting an interest in certain things. So I've had an appetite to read, and I used to go on kicks. Like I'd read a little bit, kind of forget about it, and then read at least 1 or 2 books a year, sometimes 4 if I was really feeling it, you know. But since the pandemic, my appetite has really gone up for reading quite a bit. A lot of that has to do with, well, the pandemic. There's not much to do, although it seems to be getting better now, but who knows. So when it hit, you know, I was like, all right, you can only watch so much TV. And that's the big thing, is TV is crap. There's all crap on TV. There's really not much anything good. And even the things that are good, they have their faults, and you can only watch it for so long. So, at least for me. So I needed something else to fill my time. And reading became that thing. And of course, I don't watch the news, because the news is just a bunch of nonsense. Rile you up over things that really have no real effect on your life, your day-to-day life. Sure, maybe in the grand scheme of things they kind of do, but they're in the business to make money, so they overhype things and put fear into your head and everything else. And it's funny, because a couple of years ago I used to just watch the news for the weather, and I'd mute it till the weather came on, but then you realize the weatherman's just trying to scare you. You know, we're going to get a big thunderstorm, we're going to get 10 inches of snow, and you get 2 inches of snow. All that crazy stuff. So I stopped watching. All I need to do is check on my phone, check some various websites for news, just check the one app I have for the weather. All I need is the radar and the 7-day forecast, and I can kind of gauge it from there. I don't need somebody on TV telling me what to think or do or whatever. But anyway, so I needed something to do. And then, of course, when you go to enjoy movies or anything, the politics is getting involved. Everything was kind of like, oh, it's all this white noise. So I really got into reading. As you guys know, I had a few books I read over the summer, and I talked about them. I haven't done that quite a bit of late. No real reason why. I just kind of get into the tobacco reviews on the channel, which isn't a bad thing, but I kind of been reading a lot, which is another reason why I haven't been posting quite as frequently as I was in the summer. In the summer, I probably will a lot. This week, actually, was just because of the wind and the rain that we had and the mud that I would have to traipse through to get through the shed. I really wasn't in the mood to do that. So I took the time to read. I finished a few books. I finished this one. I'll get to it in a minute. Meditations I finished the other day. Lives of the Stoics, the audiobook, I finished that the other day. And I'm looking for, so last night I was just looking through the audiobooks because I have other books that I'm reading. Like, I jump around. This confuses a lot of people. I jump from 4 or 5 books, sometimes 7 books. I dabble here, dabble there, and kind of go here and there, and just to mix it up. But I do like having an audiobook going to work, and that's another thing, that reason why I get into audiobooks too. I've always done the audiobooks, but a lot of it was the Star Wars stuff, because I was on the podcast, we would cover it, or we'd have to talk about it, or I'd have to know that particular canon for the podcast or whatever. But I'm not hosting anymore, and Star Wars is less of an interest to me these days, and I'll get into that in another video someday. So going to work during when we had all the riots in the summer, all these crazy political things going on, everything going on, I was like, I don't want to listen to anybody. It's all white noise, crazy noise. So I ended up doing, I didn't want to hear anyone's voice. I think between July and December, so I didn't turn the radio on. I would just have audiobooks, and I would listen to the audiobooks. I figured if my 25-minute drive to work, less than that actually. In the morning it's like 15 when there's no traffic. In the afternoon it's a little busy, so 25 minutes in the afternoon. But and I'm in Rhode Island, so everything is within 15 minutes. And if it's longer than that, then, well, you might as well pack a day bag, because that's too long for us Rhode Islanders. Not for me personally, but most of us. But in any case, so I'd listen to the audiobooks. I figured while I'm going to work, I'll listen and, learn something, instead of just listening to people yelling and screaming on the radio or music. I didn't even want to listen to music. I go into work and I actually listen to classical music all day, because I really don't want to hear voices. But anyway, that's a whole other thing. So anyway, I was looking through last night, and a friend of mine, they DM'd me and they asked what I was doing. I said I was looking through audible.com for books to read, and I couldn't find one. I was like, I want to read this, I want to read that, and I couldn't decide on things. So my point of this video is 2 things. I'll get to this in a second. Is I was wondering what all of you guys are reading. Because one thing I do know is pipes and books do go together. And I have to imagine all my pipe smokers read interesting books. And even my non-smoking, pipe-smoking friends, I'm sure, read interesting books that I'd find interesting. So I'm curious what all you guys read. What's going on there? But anyway, so on Instagram, and you can follow me on Instagram, my link's down below, if you want to follow me in my nonsensical, non-important posts of what I post on Instagram. But one of the things I follow is the hashtag Pipes and Pages, where they show a pipe and whatever the book they're reading, or tobacco and whatever book they're reading, and going through it, and I could see, all right, well, there's the Tolkien, Moby Dick, Sherlock Holmes, the ones you would expect, right, with pipe smoking. But you come across a few that are different, and that's kind of what I'm reaching out to everybody here, is like, what books are you reading that not necessarily has pipe smoking in it, but an interesting book that maybe I could dive in, the audiobook or even the book itself. One of them I came close to getting is, what is it, the Greatest Bear Run Ever, which I might get it. It seems pretty interesting. So I'm deciding whether I want the audiobook or the actual physical book. So we'll see. I did buy How to Think Like a Roman Emperor. I bought that. That should be here tomorrow. That's a physical book. Usually like a philosophy book, I like to actually have the book instead of the audiobook, although I do enjoy the audiobooks too. Now, I know Lester Redcoats is going to have some interesting books. And I'm pretty sure Renaissance Piper's got to have some interesting science books, which I love. I do like a good science book. I would try to stay away from M theory stuff, string theory, because that warped my mind years ago, and I haven't recovered from it. But what else? So I imagine you guys all have something. Why do I keep saying "use guys"? What am I, in New York? I don't know what's going on there. But anyway. So yeah, I'm curious what you guys are reading. Because I'm still looking, I still have books here that I got to read that I haven't got to yet. I will get to them. But like I said, it's depending on my mood. I'll jump into this, that. Like I'm window shopping now. I'll see a book and I'll be like, all right, I'll get that. But I might not read it for months or whatever. Or I'm just like, yeah, I'm in the mood to read it now. You know, I don't know if you guys are like that either. Well, there we go. But anyway, I forgot to mention this. I'm smoking Windjammer because it's good. And I figured I'd smoke it again. All right, now, I know this video is getting a little long. I didn't want to make it too long, but this book here by Robert Pantano, Notes from the End of Everything. It's a fictional book told from a perspective of a man that finds out that he's got a brain tumor and he's going to die. And he gives his thoughts on the end of his life, really, and his perspective on life. And it hits a little close to home because my grandfather passed away because of a brain tumor. And that's one of my biggest worries, although I don't worry too much now. But at the time when it happened, that's like my mind erasing or eroding is my biggest fear, if anything. I don't say I fear it, but that's the one thing I wouldn't want. Eyesight, all that stuff, I don't want that, but my mind is so important to me. So, in any case, it hit home a little bit, and then, of course, this guy, he does, this is a channel, I'll leave a link below, too. He does it's a philosophical or thought-provoking kind of channel, which I love, is the Pursuit of Wonder. I don't know if any of you checked it out, but I will leave a link down below. So this book covers various things. There's a bit of stoicism, there's nihilism, there's, the existential crisis thing, the perspective of things in the outlook. It's hard to explain, but it's almost like a lot of thoughts that I've thought of for years, he put into this little book, and it's an amazing book. It's probably my favorite book in the last 5 years or so. It's a great book. It's a good thinking book. Some of you might not like it. It's not for everyone, I don't think. But as you can see, I got all these book darts. By the way, I highly recommend these, like book darts, these things here. They're pretty cool. So I've been going back. I read it. Now I'm going back and finding quotes and things that I find interesting. And there's a lot of them. I don't know if you can see that. I'm not even done yet. I got to go this side of the book. But there's a lot of them in there because there's a lot of interesting points and things that make you think. So I highly recommend this book. It's pretty cool. It's just something to think about. And it's kind of... This book and meditations finally gave me that leap into journaling. I've always tried to do it. I just never could do it. So what I do now is in the morning, I write a little thing, whatever the hell's on my mind, and move on. It's one entry, that's it, move on. If I have another, I'll throw it in there, but for the most part, it's just one thing. But knowing how because it's basically like a journal. It's like, all right, 28, and then he writes his thing, and that's how I've done it. I've gone one, and I write my thought, and move on to that. So it's helped me a lot. And meditations is kind of like that as well. So, which is another book I got to go back and start pulling things and all that other stuff. So, but anyway, enough talking. I've gone on long enough. I'm just curious what are you guys reading? So let me know, because I'm in the mood to buy more books and read more, because there's not a whole hell of a lot on TV that I like to watch. I don't watch the news. Movies kind of suck these days, so I've been reading a lot of things. So, but anyway, that's going to do it for tonight. I wonder if my little switch will work here, because it's been cold. Although it's been warm in the shed. It was 40 degrees when I got in here. It's now 54, so that's pretty good. So I'll warm this up. I don't know if it'll work. We'll see. All right. Anyway, I'm out of here. I'm just rambling.